The name Altun Ha means rockstone water into Yucatec Maya. Earliest evidence of the city dates back to 200 BC. The earliest permanent buildings were erected in an area west of the central precinct. Unfortunately, it is not available to its visitors. One of its earliest constructions of the site dates back to the time of Christ. The first Mayan construction took place around 100 AD in the form of a temple near the reservoir. By the beginning of the Classic period, AD 250, the focus of the architecture shifted, which can be seen today. It was the central core of the city for 6 centuries. The northern plaza, Plaza A, was a primary ceremonial precinct until the close to the end of the early Classic around AD 550, when Plaza B construction began. Altun Ha continued its construction until AD 900. A decline in the quality of the new buildings was evident 150 years earlier. This enormous courtyard is enclosed by 8 large temples. As you can see, unlike most other Maya sites, no carved monuments or stela can be found in front of these great structures. The cause for its absence is unclear, but we can speculate and say that the stela cult did not reach the regions on the fringe of the Maya area. Several construction efforts are represented in the present reconstruction of Temple A-1. The final floor of the structure is terraced platform, originally marked by a broad stair extending about halfway up the structure and supporting a chambered building, was achieved by the late 5th to early 6th century AD. Numerous minor modifications continued to be made in succeeding centuries. The frontal stair was eventually covered by a large subsidiary platform which cut off access to the chambered building, requiring the addition of a staircase led into the south side of the new construction. A single tomb, possibly containing a ruler, was found hidden deep inside A-1. This tomb dates back to about AD 550 and is the earliest known tomb from the site center. The tomb was constructed in a manner characteristic of Altun Ha, but not known from any other Maya site. The walls were formed of roughly shaped pieces, quarried limestone, and occasional facing stones, and covered by a ceiling of huge slabs of flint and limestone. Despite this crude construction, the tomb, like others at Altun Ha, was marked by a surprising richness of contents, the presence of nearly 300 jade objects has led this to be called the Green Tomb. Other artifacts included the shell necklaces and ornaments, pottery vessels, stingrays, spines used in the ritual bloodletting, and groups of ceremonial chert, flint, eccentrics, elaborately shaped shirt sculptures, as well as the remains of more perishable items, skins, cloth, and wooden objects. The remains of a codex, an ancient book made on bark paper, were also found. The fragments were too fragile to be reassembled, but they at least tell us that codices were sometimes buried with elites during the Classic period. Structures A-2 and A-8, now connected to A-1, were once freestanding buildings. The latter platform supported a chambered building, and the former residential building, A-1, originally faced onto the plaza, but was dramatically cut off by the construction of A-2. Structure A-3, the smallest temple in the group A, is like A-1, a composite of various construction efforts which were sufficiently well preserved to permit their incorporation into an assemblage which gave a reasonable idea of what the building looked like about AD 600. Structure A-4, located on the southeast side of Plaza A, forms parts of the southern and eastern borders of the plaza. It appears to have been simply a long, narrow platform with no structure atop it, serving as a border between the two plazas. A little bit is known about structure A-6 than the other structures in Plaza A due to its great size and poor condition of this platform facing. Although an earlier building may be hidden deep within A-6, excavations indicated that the entire mass may have been raised in just two stages from AD 550 to 600. A-7, the final element of Group A, is a small low mound asymmetrically placed in the northeast corner of the plaza. Currently, we are now entering Plaza B. Now, Plaza B varies from Plaza A, both in order of construction and position. The order of floor construction proposes that changes that happen in one plaza did not happen in the other. Structure B1 abuts A4, the low divider mound between the two plazas at a slight angle. The great height of B1 and a difference in alignment indicated that it is a separate structure from A4. Very little is known about this building. However, since no excavations have been done, little is known about structure B2, as much of it was destroyed by local quarrying. Its shape suggests that it was a residence or palace, but we cannot be certain for sure. A complex of three buildings, B-4, B-5, and B-6, forms the southern boundary of Plaza B. These were originally separate structures, the former two residential and the latter a small temple. Some additional information about Altun Ha. The site has approximately 500 structures or mounds that are still visible presently. When Altun Ha was at its peak during the Classic period, the population of the vicinity ranged from 8,000 to 10,000 inhabitants. Approximately 3,000 people alone lived in the central core of the city. At classic Maya sites, the society appears to have been severely disrupted early in the 10th century. No single factor explains the declines of Maya civilization. There is some evidence, however, that shows that regional conflicts may have contributed to the downfall of the Maya in Altun Ha. Altun Ha was completely abandoned after its collapse. What is evidence from historians and archaeologists say, it appears to have been occupied for about 100 years after the construction ceased. Occupation began again 200 years later during the 13th and 14th centuries. What sets this Mayan site apart is the jade head, Kinich Ahau, discovered in 1968 by Dr. David Pendergast of the Royal Ontario Museum of Canada. The head was found with along 40 other objects in a large tomb called the Masonry Altar, structure B4. The jade favors three important deities of the Maya: the Kinich Ahau, the sun god, with Chak, the rain god, and Yumkax, the corn god. It weighs about 9.75 pounds and is 6.8 inches high. This piece is really beautiful as it is one of a kind and is only found here in Mesoamerica. The mere fact that it was carved with just ordinary stone tools alone is amazing. The time to make this may have taken a grueling months, if not years. The jade was just as important then as it is now. It is an iconic part of Belize. Presently, it can be found on Belizean currency.